The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, their guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirely without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group, copyright 2025. All rights are reserved.
The march to freedom is long, and it must continue to evolve.
Led by God and grounded in Scripture.
The march to freedom must be righteous, with a focus on accountability and sustainability to ensure that we leave no man behind.
Have the courage to do the right thing and get yourself a red Bible.
As we unleash the minds, you can be confident that the revolution is alive, and we will continue to document it.
This is Freedom March.
This is Freedom March. Hello, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Levan Miller. Welcome to Freedom March. You're listening to us on channel 103.5, the Beat FM. Channel 224, that's on cable. Channel 112, that's on Flow. And of course on ILTV Studios on Facebook, where by now you should be following us. It's a hurricane. It's not coming, it's here. And it appears as though battening down won't save us. I see that there are people that are making, requests to the government to have more flights come to Maguana. I see that Jamaica has possibly taken an even greater beating than it did in the hurricane of 1988. The one that I called yesterday, that I told you on many occasions my grandmother would reference her ability to beat the life out of us as children, and said then that the beating that she would give to us would be akin to what Hurricane Gilbert did to Jamaica. Well, 35 years later, or there's about, it appears as though Hurricane Melissa has visited even greater catastrophe on the island nation. But from all indications in social media, there hasn't been any official head count or any official review of the damage. Jamaicans do not seem to have their spirits broken. And that is always a good place to start, right? Because when I, in my other life, did survival, they said that you needed 3 key things to survive. Of course, this is when I did the Nile rating course, right? The Naval Inflatable Life-Saving Equipment course. They said you need good, sound, appropriate, working equipment. You needed the knowledge of how to manipulate those equipment and to execute all of the evolutions that the equipment were designed to carry out. But last and certainly not least, and chief among them, you needed the will to survive. And if you somehow were able to get all 3 of those things to connect, then your possibility or chance of survival would be far greater than any person in the same situation that lacked either of those 3 things. Well, I don't know if they have good working equipment. And I also don't know if they have knowledge of that equipment. But it looks to me as though the Jamaicans have a will to survive. And so we'll see how that turns out in the end. We'll be back.
Fill up box for all $30.
The new KFC Fill-Up Box, serving 6 juicy pieces of chicken, 4 buttery biscuits, crispy fries to share, and 12 premium original recipe KFC nuggets, all packed into one crave-worthy box. So dig in and do whatever the crunch you want with the KFC Fill-Up Box. Only at KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Every single person matters. Every single dream is worthy of support. Every single challenge must be confronted. There is no space for sitting small. There is no space for fear. But there is room enough for those who are brave enough to refuse the path of the least resistance, and with brave hearts cut a path for those who are counting on us.
This is Freedom March. Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. I'm Levin Miller. Bradley Roll, the spiritual advisor, extraordinary and plenipotentiary, is with me. Bradley Roll, welcome to Freedom March.
Thanks so much, Levi. Good to be here.
I told you yesterday about Hurricane Gilbert, did I not?
Yeah.
Did you go and look up the song?
So, mind you, for some strange reason, when I Google Hurricane Gilbert, I saw a couple of videos with the song at the bottom, but I actually didn't play it.
Yeah. Do they have copyright infringements on that song? Are we able to play it?
Yeah, I didn't play it, but there is a song. You're right. There is a song.
That's one thing I love about the Jamaicans.
Yeah.
You know, I think I think when I think about God, Bradley, I kind of think about God as a being, right? Sometimes. And one of the things I think is that if God is a being, then beings require entertainment sometimes. And so I feel like relationships is like God reality TV, because it's the most ad hoc, chaotic thing, men and women, although the only thing compatible on the planet are the two most adversely connected things on the planet. Nothing about the way a woman thinks ever lines up with the way a man thinks. And nothing about what a man does ever lines up with the way a woman would do it. But somehow, those two things must convince one another that we are going to interlock in order for the repopulation of the planet, right? So I think that's like God's reality TV. But I think like when God made Jamaicans, they are certainly the entertainment of the world.
They are.
Yeah, like Jamaicans are just entertaining. There's absolutely nothing a Jamaican could do that wouldn't entirely be just the most entertaining thing ever. And it doesn't matter the adversity that they find themselves in. It doesn't matter the catastrophe they find themselves in. It doesn't matter the misfortune or how unfortunate an event is. Somehow, Jamaicans are just gonna be having a great time through it all. And I've always admired that about them. Like, they certainly are an interesting bunch, hey?
Yeah, but this Hurricane Melissa is on another level. I can tell you that the images and the videos that we're seeing so far, they are not something to rejoice.
Have you been in the social media spaces?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen TikTok. Jamaicans are in the brunt of the storm, and they still their spirits don't seem to be broken.
It is shocking for some of them though, because some of the explanation that's coming through some of the videos, it really says a lot about the shock.
Yeah.
That they are actually going through at this time. We can tell you that, but I can say basically from what I've been seeing so far, this is not something to joke around. It's some serious business.
It's a category 5.
They're taking a
with winds of up to 200 miles per hour. I'm told.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you could build with an 8-inch block that would withstand.
Yeah, it's horrific. It's horrifying. We got some photos we can share with you later on in the show, but what we want to do, Levon, is we want to pause for a minute of silence for the people of Jamaica. And then, of course, after the pause, we then want to continue to pray for them. So wherever you are, if you're listening to us on 103.5 FM The Beat, if you're watching us on TV, if you're watching us on Facebook, if you're watching us via YouTube, what we want to do is we want to pause for a second or two for the people of Jamaica, and then after we pause, we want to petition the Almighty God to wrap His loving arms around them to protect them from death and whatever destruction that is actually going on this time. So if you, whatever you do, if you're in a car and you're driving, I ask you please, if you can, find a safe space to pull on the side, and so we can pause for a second to remember the people in Jamaica at this time who is facing a very, very devastating Hurricane Melissa. So let's pause for a couple seconds. All right, let's pray. Let's pray. Father in heaven, we pause at this time to petition you on behalf of our brothers and sisters that are in Jamaica. Father, they are experiencing a very devastating storm at this time. We pray that you would be with them, that you would wrap your arms around them, keep them from harm, danger. Father, whatever it is that they're going through, we know that you are there with them. Continue to protect them. The sea is raging, the storm is blowing, but we know, Father, you can bring them through this, Father. Guide and protect them and their government. Most importantly, Father, keep them safe until this storm passes by them. It is in Jesus Christ's name that we pray this prayer. Amen. Wow.
Amen.
Indeed.
Yeah, as you pray, I just think about all sorts of good Church of God songs in my mind. You know the song that says, keep me safe
till the storm
passes by,
till the storm passes over,
until the storm passes over,
and the thunder sounds no more.
Yeah, that was one in my mind.
Indeed.
And then the other one goes something like this, and if the storms don't cease, and if the winds keep on blowing in my life, my soul has been, man, isn't it wonderful?
Yeah.
Anchored in the Lord. Yeah. And if you grew up in a real good church of God, they would run a little hot and say, "My soul has been anchored. My soul has been anchored. My soul has been anchored. My. Though the billows may rock, the waves might roll, though trouble may come, wherever I go, my soul has been." Whew. I feel my church of God flare for me, Bradley.
Yeah, but boy, the devastation is horrific.
Yeah.
Some of the photos that I'm seeing and the videos, boy, that is something else. 37 years later, they're faced with something that's really, really gonna leave some destruction upon.
Can we play Gilbert? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
We're hoping for
Bradley,
the
but
best, though.
I am actually very, very mindful of the people over there. But the other people I am mindful of, and if someone from the Defense Force, I don't know who the public relations officer is over there, but if someone would be kind to drop us a line. I understand that our news team is coming back from Inagua, right? Yeah, and it is because I'm told, Bradley, that the decision has been made that it isn't safe for us to leave the media there. And that is an anomaly because, you know, in storms all around the world, man, in wars, the media stays.
Yeah.
And so whoever has made the determination that our media colleagues ought to leave the southeastern corridor,
For safety.
I get it. I mean,
But security will be there. I'm sure the Defense Force, Police Force will be there to make sure that.
or will they? Because if you're saying to me that the weather is going to be such that the media can't stay, well, where the BDF Marines going to be?
You train them for moments like this. You train them for this.
Okay.
So there's no
You know
excuse.
what? You don't want CNN.
Yeah,
You ever see them CNN reporters in the
Yeah,
storm?
they just be out and by the water and all the yellow raincoat and everything blowing. Sometimes the mic get blown, they run
Yeah.
after the mic and pull the
Yeah.
mic back. And
Yeah.
they, you see what I'm saying?
even-
and they get paid more money for that too.
I know.
It's
when
hazardous pay.
Even when I watch the Cohog News, even Trisha Takanawa don't get to leave in the hurricane. But apparently our news colleagues are leaving because I understand the situation down there is just that dire. But also, I see that the people from Iguana are also asking for there to be additional airlift out of Iguana. And I'm wondering whether or not that is as a result of there not being sufficient airlift, or whether or not that is out of the delinquents of the residents to move in the first instance.
And now that they recognize how bad it's going to be, they decide to get out, eh?
Yeah, I'm also very interested in figuring out if we evacuate 6 or 7 islands in the south, like, does New Providence have capacity?
Yeah, man. They
Where,
can
Bradley?
find places to stay.
You know, some people can't stay with their cousin, right?
This time, they'll have to. They'll have to
I got some cousin- I got some
mend those differences.
I got some cousin that can't come by me.
No,
I'll give them money.
but they can't stay.
They can't come by me.
Wow.
They can have some money.
Listen, in the words of Rodney King, can we all just get along?
Yes, I would like to give you this $100 for you to agree to go from around me.
Oh man.
So let's go to the clip with our news team on the ground in Iguana, who is down there and who was down there all morning. Oh, okay. And then, you know, the people have been asking to evacuate, and they're asking the government to assist them in evacuating. But Bradley, these are the kinds of things I think, as an archipelago, we have to consider or continue considering, right? Like, having people live this far away from the seat of power, having this many islands inhabited, and I get it, everyone wants to live where they want to live, but you must also consider the fact that there are some challenges that come along with living in the middle of nowhere.
Indeed, yeah.
And I don't know if it was the spirit of the Lord or gas, Bradley, but something came to me today when I was on my way to the studio, and I said, you know, this would be a wonderful opportunity for the government to get into talks about bioinfusion. What better place to put a hurricane shelter?
On top of a hill, eh?
And that certainly looked like a fortified building.
Yeah,
You know, ocean around it.
yeah.
If the water rise 20 foot tall, it shouldn't get to Fusion.
No, it's not going to get there.
Gladstone Road, in case you don't know this, the middle of New Providence is Gladstone Road. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. No, but I mean, you can actually see around the entire island if you go to the top of it.
So here are some, what do you call it? Here are some circumstantial evidence that could point you towards that. Where is the dump?
The dump will be just south, east.
Right. Of?
Fusion.
Okay. I thought you were going to give me another reference point. So the dump is in the middle of the island. It only makes sense because if you put it on any one end of the island, people would be able to say that you're negatively affecting them. The dump is in the middle of the island. You know what else is in the middle of the island? Generally speaking.
You got Fusion, you got a dump.
Have you ever heard this? Have you ever heard this? Here we bring our transmission for today to a close.
Oh, it's Harold
This
Pond.
TV,
Harold Pond.
this TV is broadcasted to you in color with our
Transmitting tower at Harold
with our
Pond.
broadcasting station at
No,
and our
this is transmitting tower
with our broadcasting station at and our transmission tower
at Harold Pond.
Harold the Pond.
Right.
Where Harold Pond is.
Harold Pond will be from which location? From the dump?
Just give me
Boy,
a reference.
Boy, it'll be just east of the dump.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just east.
Now you know that ain't Harold Pond alone.
That's Bosine Down in them.
That's Harold Pond and Wilson Pond.
Okay.
All
Is,
right.
is it in the vicinity of Bosine Down? No?
Bosine Down would be somewhere up. Where am I? Yes, Bosine Down would be east of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So the reason the tower is in the middle of the island, I'm told, is because it makes transmission easier.
Yeah.
Right? So let's go back. Gladstone Road is the center of the island.
Now, for the government to buy Fusion, the government don't have $30 million to do
Who said
that.
it cost 80?
Well, I know that's the cost of construction.
How you know that?
That's a $30 million project. Everybody knows that, eh?
Well, they renting the town center mall, and by the time they finish renting that, it'll probably cost $80 million.
Yeah, but Fusion is a $30 million project, so.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be
But it's a perfect shelter.
Perfect.
Yeah, it
Ideal
is.
for everything.
Yeah.
Outdoor eating, it already has food capacity, kitchen capacity, all them bunch of studio with nobody is one full of anyhow. You could turn them into sleeping quarters, build bunk beds all throughout them. The storm ain't gonna blow that off the hill, right?
No, it probably wouldn't.
Ain't no roof on it to blow off, and ain't got no window to blow out. Them little glass window downstairs, I think all of them are cased in by wall, eh?
Yeah, you can always protect those.
Fusion is ideal. All you need to do is put hurricane shutters on the glass doors, put on the southern side. And the way I know wind to blow around the Bahamas is wind in the Bahamas typically comes out of the northeast. The Bahamas has northeast trade winds. Okay. So I feel like you'll be doing well. But maybe it was gas or the Spirit of the Lord. Whatever it is, Bradley, I know on my way to the studio today, I said to myself, I hear all of this talk about evacuation. But I want you to understand that leaving your house is a real reality, you know.
Yeah.
Like, that is one of those things. People will say that you are belligerent and that you are this thing and all sorts of other adjectives because you don't want to just evacuate. But leaving home
Takes a lot to do.
takes courage because,
Yeah.
because, and I don't know if you are aware of this, Bradley, human beings are the only animals that leave their shelter to go look for shelter. When a crab dig a hole, when the storm come, this the crab hole, my
Well,
brother.
there are times when you need to do it. I mean,
When the rabbit dig a burrow, when the storm come, this the rabbit burrow. When the bear find a cave, when the storm come, this is cave. Humans, on the other hand, right? We build our shelter only to leave the shelter when the storm come.
yeah, there are some things that it takes that you have to do it. So I
Yeah.
mean,
But all I'm saying to
it
you,
is what
Bradley,
it
is so I don't even know. So no other animal has to contend with this, as far as I'm aware. But there is human beings have something that animals do not have. Do you know what that is?
instinct.
No, all animals have instinct. human beings have emotional intelligence.
Okay. Okay.
That is what makes us so sophisticated. That's what makes us the top of the, of the animal kingdom, right? Other animals have intellect, other animals have instinct, they don't have emotional intelligence, right? And
Some animals do show emotions, though.
yeah, but
Like if a dog doesn't see you for a long time and you're its owner, they show emotion.
well, not if you ask Ivan Pavlov. Ivan Pavlov said the dog is conditioned through operant conditioning, and he just associates the owner with food and shelter. And so
Yeah, so
it is the dog's association.
You think a dog don't understand love?
Yes, but you can give that same dog to a new owner, and he will feel the same way for that owner.
Once they feed him.
Yes.
I don't know. Okay.
It is called extrinsic motivational factors. Is it?
But how do you?
I have one doctor who is a psychologist, and she listens to this show. Make sure you keeping my psychology in line now. Don't have Bradley Odia. That was the one that told me that I kept calling the man Ian Pavlov, and his name was Ivan. And she was very right. So the reason you cannot compare Brownie's emotion to yours is because Brownie's emotion is driven largely by his instinctive desire, which could be manipulated by extrinsic factors.
Food.
Anyway, this is Freedom March. We're going to the break. We'll be back.
This is Freedom March.
This is Freedom March. Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us. I'm Levan Miller. Bradley Roll, spiritual advisor extraordinary and plenipotentiary, is with me, Bradley. And like we alluded to earlier, the teams down in Inagua, I'm very concerned. Again, if anybody knows anybody inside the Defense Force that could give me some information, I'd like to know. Or maybe we should get the minister on the phone, eh?
I guess we could.
Think we could get the minister on the phone?
Security.
He could let us know what's going on with the Marines and officers. And
The producer could call him.
yeah. But let's go to the clip and then see what exactly is being said by our colleagues down there in the South with regards to why is it that they have to leave out of the southeastern corridor of the Bahamas. We have it? All right. Bradley. And while we're at it, let's see if we could get the number for the Minister of National Security and see if we could get him on the phone so that he could advise us. Because if it's too dangerous for man to stay, right?
You cannot leave the island completely deserted because number one, you don't know who else could be there.
Agreed. Now, who should stay?
The Defense Force should stay. This is why we train them.
Yeah.
This is why we pay them.
Yeah.
This is why we have a disaster team.
Absolutely. Now,
All right.
who should stay? Everybody who's staying, raise your hand.
You know what I'm saying? They're serving their country. This is if you want to serve your country, this is a good time
I
to
like
do it
when
now.
fellas say these things on the TV.
Yeah, this is a good time. Listen, I'm not a Defense Force officer. I'm past that age. But for the
But
young
they have a
men
reserve unit. You do well.
at
All this
59,
landscape. Yeah, you could be a reserve landscaper. We have a BMT. You do well in base maintenance as a reserve. We'd make you a reserve leading hand right out the gate.
okay,
You know the minister, he could pull that off for you.
okay. But as far as disaster is concerned, this is their time to shine.
Yeah. We ready?
We were told to be on the airport from 8:30 this morning. We're here. More than 100 persons are on the airport. We're on the airport, and then we got word after 1 o'clock that only a 50-seater was coming to Mayaguana, and that so that means the other persons would be stranded on the island. Even if we can't get it today, first thing in the morning.
We got flight. Auckland's already got flight. Why is Mayaguana just getting a flight for 4 o'clock? 4:30. They told us to be here from 7 o'clock. All people was outside at the airport. No seats to sit down. No bathroom to use. No bathroom to use. And it's just so unfair.
No food.
No food, no nothing. Current off, water off.
We're going to the houses to come. The police must leave and everybody must leave. So we're here from 7 o'clock. And why is it now no flight, no communication, no word, and nothing?
No one is saying anything. Everybody is asking about themselves what's going on. Nobody knows nothing.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's only they need some help down there.
That's what's happening. That's what people make want,
And
right?
the line that I saw just now,
That look like more than 150 people. And the plane only
don't
can do
carry
140.
the plane can how much?
144.
120, I think. What is that? That's the 737, or is that the something 8? Remember the plane? Oh man, I forgot the plane. Producer, it was a plane that was designed by Boeing that they initially had some issues with, but they sorted out. Anyhow, is this a Boeing 727 or is this a Boeing 7? That's a 757? Oh, okay.
Well, all I know is people were asked to come this morning at 7, but they have to also understand that Bahamas Air still has a full schedule
Of other
of
flights.
people who have paid to go places. I get it. This is a national emergency. Of course, their regional partners have come on board. Are we able to get the minister on the phone?
What we should have done, why didn't we ask the United States to assist us with evacuation? They could have sent one of those C-130 planes down there, and they could have taken...
They are also our friends. They could have offered us some assistance.
Yeah, they could carry at least 200 people,
Yeah.
you know. But, interesting.
Yeah.
There probably had to been a different way to do this. at the last minute, because I understand they trying to get them over there right now as we speak.
But the government, I understand, is busy doing or moving more than one set of things. This, the government already evacuated college students, right?
From Jamaica.
The government already evacuated people out of Matthew Town. The government has evacuated now, I understand, people out of Mayaguana, right? But simultaneously, the government is also looking at people who are still stuck in Jamaica. Do we have the clip with the Bahamians that are stuck in Jamaica who the government sent funding for? There are Bahamians. I don't know why. They ain't come home while the plane was coming home. But they are stuck in Jamaica. Apparently, they stayed for some wedding or something.
Wedding?
They stayed for some purpose. And now they are having to bunker down in Jamaica. But the government is also providing them with assistance while they're there. So I'm just saying, I don't want people to allow their individual circumstances to cause them to not realize that the government is actually moving.
Last I heard, they said a hurricane would have been in here by 8 a.m., but then they said it slowed down a bit. And when they say when it slowed down, it's boiling up and gearing up to come full force. So they say by 3, we're expecting Melissa to be to touch down where we're at in Montego Bay. And we are indeed staying at a hotel, the Dreams Hotel. And I want to say, me personally, want to say a special thank you to the Honorable Minister of Tourism, the Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Chester Cooper, who I was personally in contact with, and who others would have also been in contact with. And I want to special thank you Lady Anne-Marie Davis, who also was in contact with me from the start to where we're at now. And she checks up on me every day, so I want to thank her as well. And we want to thank the Bahamas government who accommodated.
So the Bahamas government is doing many things in this instance, Bradley. And I think, I get it. I think Bahamians have every right to always want or desire more from their government. I think it is very not unusual for Bahamians to want their needs to be met immediately. But again, the challenges of an archipelago, the challenges of natural disasters, evacuations in and of itself is a new phenomenon for Bahamians. It never happened pre-Dorian.
There were times when you were asked to evacuate.
Yeah, but mandatory evacuations that isn't something that is regular for Bahamians over the age of 40.
Yeah.
That is a new thing.
Okay.
So I imagine that the government is still ironing out the kinks, particularly because we switch governments so quickly that I'm not sure if we ever fully ironed out legislatively or policy-wise how do these evacuations work? Which of our assets are deployed? What exactly? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
just by this estimation, if the storm was coming, we know the storm was coming from last week.
That's what I'm saying. We knew for a while what was going on. It's just that there were 1 or 2 things that they weren't sure about the direction
of the projection.
It was going
to. So I'm saying they could have taken the Lawrence Major in Inagua, right? Send that down there. They could put the whole Inagua population on that.
Would it get out in time, though?
What you mean the Lawrence Major only need... The Lawrence Major... Bradley, come on.
How much knots it could do?
Bradley, do you know that these vessels do something called storm avoidance patrol, right?
Okay.
Which means they have to be able to run ahead of the storm.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So all you need to do is find out where the storm is. See, these are the things BDF Marines are trained for. Where the storm is and your 3 parts of projection. And once you got signal from, when was that, Saturday or Sunday, that boy, by Monday, Tuesday, the latest, it coming across, you flash up the Lawrence Major Sunday night with everybody. You could even bring your goat. Everybody in Inagua could come on the Lawrence Major. And they run the Lawrence Major. They could even stop in Crooked Island on the way up and run that straight to Exuma.
Yeah. Where it would probably be a bit safer than being down south.
Yeah. And you set up a tent city. You set up a little tent city. Boom, you get the woman in the community to come and bring hot soup.
Right, so the problem we're having now is trying to get those people out of Inagua.
Out of Mayaguana.
Mayaguana. That's the problem we have.
But again, I'm saying, I also don't know if we've fully ironed out what evacuation looks like around here. Because airlift will have challenges. Airlift requires a certain a certain degree of coordination that you don't need for waterside evacuation. And if we are an archipelago, maybe we have to be considering that our evacuation won't look like Jamaica's or America's. We have archipelagic challenges.
Island, yeah.
And sometimes you only need to run 20, 30 miles off the coast of a hurricane to be out of its way, you know.
Yeah.
You just need to be... What do I mean? You've been to Abaco Post Dorian?
No, I haven't, no.
Okay, well, if you went to Abaco Post Dorian, here's what you'd find. If you go Dundestown, Mayfitan, Central Abaco, man, it is, your heart melts, Bradley. Buildings that you knew existed, no longer. I'm talking about entire complexes gone, right? No building in that vicinity stood a chance. All the way up to Treasure Key. You know where that is? But Bradley, believe this or not, the minute you get off the dirt road by Treasure Key and on back onto the pavement, or back onto the asphalt road, you can't even tell Hurricane been to Abaco.
Which is about what, 30 miles, no? 20 miles out?
I said about 20.
20 miles? That makes a big difference.
When you go South Abaco, that's even worse. South Abaco, I understand the tide even ain't never rise on the beach. You follow what I'm saying?
From Dorian, no? Oh, okay.
Because sometimes all you need to do is be 30 or 40 miles out of the barn of the storm.
Yeah.
South Abaco has suffered no damage from Dorian at all. The tree is still green.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying to you? So you hear about the catastrophe that these cyclones can bring, but again, when you consider evacuation may not. You know how far Inagua is from Nassau?
No, the miles I have to figure it out.
386 miles.
That's 20 miles. That's a long
You
way.
might need to come that far to be able to do the storm.
No.
That's my point.
No.
But if you're sending a jet, that in itself creates some issues because you can't land the jet everywhere. The jet only could land certain places.
Yeah. So the government should have sent a Defense Force vessel.
But I say you could have carried Lawrence Major down there, and if you're dead serious, you could have carried Nassau and Bahamas. You just lap up 200 detainees without no issue.
Yeah, but the government may have been considering the cost.
The cost of what?
Fuel.
Bradley, you can't consider cost in a life-saving
I understand
effort.
that. I understand
So
that.
that point becomes moot.
Okay, well, I guess they were looking at quickness. Get them in and out fast.
But now you got people saying they stuck in Miguana. And here's the thing.
So why didn't they deal with Miguana first?
Because then Inagua people would be crying and hollering. Or Crooked Island people would be crying and hollering. People are acting as if the government hasn't already done, you know. The government has done.
Is it too late to take those people out?
I don't know, but I can tell you one thing. I wasn't going to fly in there. Because you know who I have a fiduciary responsibility to keep alive?
Yourself.
Lamarck and Alexandrio's daddy. You know who that is?
No, I don't know. Come on, you ask me questions I don't know.
Me. Ice Lamarck and Alexandrio's daddy.
I don't know who. Yeah, okay.
I have a fiduciary obligation to keep their daddy alive. And so, I'm saying, you know, it's just one of those things, Bradley, where I think no matter what amount of things you get right, there will be people who question what more you should have done. And so from as early as this morning, actually, I saw that the administrator from down there was basically talking to the residents from down there and admonishing them to evacuate, saying that, you know, there would be no light, there would be no water, the conditions would be not, the best conditions. And I hear the people in the Miguana clip complaining about not having this thing, not having that thing. Probably, but if they powered off the light and the water at home, you probably would have no bathroom at home.
Yeah, but now I understand all this you're saying, but people need help.
I understand that, but needing help doesn't give you the right to be irrational.
But they're caught up in a situation that we're not in. So
Agreed.
You outside.
Did the government create the storm?
We're not in that situation, so you got to understand what they may be going through.
Yes,
don't forget what the Indian man say, you know. You never know what Indian man go through till you walk in moccasins.
Till you meet Indian woman?
No, till you walk in moccasins. Man, you know what I mean? So you got to put yourself in the Indian man position.
I agree.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying, Bradley, is as a policymaker, I would hate to be doing, right? First of all, the government ain't create the storm. Secondly, everyone with a TV knew the storm was coming. Technically, the government didn't have to tell you to evacuate. That is a calculation you could have made on your own.
No, but guess you know what? No, but the government has a responsibility for its people.
Yes, I'm saying
they made the right decision to evacuate those people.
Yes.
Now, if you
I'm
want to
saying
say the government dropped the ball on this, then say it.
No, that's not what I'm saying to you. I'm very not saying that. What I'm saying is, Bradley Roll, if you were sitting in your home in Abraham's Bay, Maguana, right? Looking at all the modules that was on the TV, Bradley Roll could have made a decision.
This is
that
true.
My brother,
Yes, I understand that.
Here through this.
I understand that, but for the most part, whenever we see these devastating storms and these hurricanes traveling, most of us depend on our local weather department and the government to advise us what to do.
Yes.
Most of us.
And when you get that advisement, that doesn't necessarily mean the government will pay to move you.
We understand that.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that you could have made the decision on your own accord, void of the government's interactions at all, that you know what, I ain't fooling with this.
But mandatory evacuations
means that the government will send resources.
Oh.
And they have. And all I'm saying is, maybe that is what the policymakers should do a re-scrub on. Because the way we are evacuating may not be the best way as an archipelago. That making sense to you?
Okay.
All right, let's go to the clip where the Family Island administrator for Matthewtown herself sounded as if she was a bit, flustered at the people's response to the government's efforts down there in Matthewtown.
Well, the Eyewitness News team is here on the ground in Matthewtown in Nagua, and at this hour, the final set of evacuations are underway. We understand that some 150 residents have already left the island. Among those residents are 48 adults from Acklands and Crooked Island, two of the islands in the southeastern Bahamas that are expected to get the brunt of Hurricane Melissa. And of course, the remaining residents are from Matthewtown and Nagua, so they're obviously responding to that evacuation order from the Prime Minister given yesterday. We understand that the final set of evacuations, and you can see this flight that is here on the ground, is about to leave shortly. That brings the total of evacuees to about 300, and that is the last chance to get out of the southeastern Bahamas. Again, Hurricane Melissa is not expected to make landfall until about 12 o'clock tomorrow here in the southeastern Bahamas, but residents that remain are urged to prepare and, of course, be safe. We got a chance to speak to the island administrator, who says that power will be shut off on the island in just a matter of hours, and she also gave an update on evacuations and preparation here on the ground. Here's what she had to say.
Right. Obviously, we know that the Prime Minister gave this order yesterday, but we understand there are a lot of residents that are still staying behind because they feel it's not going to be as severe. What do you say to those residents?
Well, being a behemoth that would have survived Dorian, I am advising all of the residents to take heed to the necessary orders so that all of the precautionary measures can be in place and we can mitigate whatever damages and lives lost as possible.
And so, Bradley, like I say, the administrator there said, listen, I survived Dorian. And I'm telling you as a survivor of things like these that you need to take all of the steps possible and do everything necessary to mitigate damage, right? And I don't disagree with her. And she's saying that in one clip, and in the clip just prior, you hear the hum of a jet engine in the background. That is the mitigating step.
Right. So there's a window. It's like, it's 5 o'clock now? Mm-hmm. There's the airport down there doesn't have any lights on the runway, right?
It's a 2-hour flight from here to Matthewtown on a King Air. Well, not on a King Air, but on a Dash 8 for sure.
On a Dash 8, 2 hours. Mm-hmm. So if the government decides, as a result of emergency right now, to charter or lease a Boeing 757 that could probably carry 200 people. They could get down there, pick those people up, and bring them back before 12 o'clock.
Well, if
tomorrow.
that's the case, you must have charter 777 and carry. How much they could have Boeing 777 carry? They could land it down there?
I don't know. That's the next thing.
Well, certainly they could land it in Maguana. Maguana have one of the longest runways ever, right?
Oh, really?
Mm.
All right. They have to think
I don't
about
know what the state of the runway is, but
they have to think about something fast. A Boeing 737.
777.
A Boeing.
Or 767. Bradley, the point I'm making is this is a wonderful. I don't know if since this thing was created by the Minnis administration, this evacuation strategy, I don't know if the Progressive Liberal Party has given this enough of their thought since they've been in office, is the point I'm making.
Okay.
There may be a better way to go about these evacuation exercises.
So if they lease a Boeing 777 now, it can do between 301 to 368 passengers. Now
Okay.
you need to find out what runway.
Well, that's only the whole Inagua.
Runway. Let's see, runway capacity as far as runway, how much they need to land.
I don't know.
How much they need? Wow, they need about 6,000 feet, 6 to 8,000 feet of runway.
Yeah. I don't know if they have that in Inagua.
Yeah, so,
I don't know if they have that
that's a challenge.
Yeah, I don't know if they have that in Inagua.
Yeah.
But again, these people could have moved themselves, because there should have been a flight Monday. That was just yesterday, yes? I'm almost willing to bet the flight probably came empty. It typically comes not very full from down
If the government acts now, they have time, because they don't expect the weather to deteriorate until around 12 o'clock tomorrow in that area. So they still got basically.
But you just said they ain't got no light, so who going? See, because that we always have to go back to that one question: who going? And you know the one thing about there's only one difference between being a hero
and a model.
Well, I was gonna say and a jack-o'-lantern, and that is the mistake. It's like if your team is down by 1 with 3 seconds left to play, and you inbound the ball, or 5 seconds left to play, and you inbound the ball and you take the 3-point shot from the arc and you hit it, you're the greatest. This is why.
Yeah, what if we missed?
This is why we pay you the big bucks.
Yeah.
Because you take clutch players.
What if you miss?
If you take that same ball and miss Bradley, you probably walking home after this game. And that is the kind of position the government is right now with this thing. If you send a plane, could you imagine this? Imagine you send a plane down there, Bradley. Bear with me. And that plane crash. And by crash, I don't mean scratch, boom, bram, out of the sky, big fire. I mean, because they miscalculated the runway because they can't see it, the plane wing suffer some damage, or the landing gear suffer some damage, or they overshoot the runway. So they slide off the runway. That's not irregular in air traffic. Now you have a whole plane you need to go evacuate, plus the crew you send there.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying, sometimes a desire to respond only exacerbates the situation.
So what happens now?
Well, you just let people bunker on.
The window. It's just 5 o'clock. As a matter of fact,
I won't push you through the window.
As a matter of fact,
you go. You keep talking about this window like we ain't talking about swords, Bradley.
Listen. As a matter of fact, if you time it properly,
oh boy,
a flight could leave in the morning and get back in time.
You know how you starting to sound like?
Because if that flight leaves, it's still dark at 6, but by the time they get there, there should be enough light for them to land. Pick up those people and get out there before midday. Before the.
And all I'm saying to you, Bradley, is you starting to sound to me like the people who say they end up and miss and get pregnant. Don't try to time this. At some point, make a decision. What is the assets you are going to exhaust? When you've reached that point, Bradley, the only other thing to do is to bunker down. And to the people that are saying that the flights came from South full yesterday, Sure, I'll accept that. If they came full or not, I don't know. What I do know is yesterday would have been a far better day to send more capacity.
Okay.
So you should have, right? Whether they were full or unfull, full or full not, you should have worked on capacity yesterday. You should have sent a bigger plane than the one you typically send yesterday, or you should have sent 2 yesterday. You following me?
Okay.
I'm saying the more the time draws on, the smaller your operational options become. That is what I'm saying. And I do not retract that they typically come from down south empty. That's what I said. Because people are ambushing me in my comments saying that I need to go and fact check the planes came full yesterday. Fine. Did they send the ATR yesterday?
No, it seems as if they sent that big jet.
They sent a jet yesterday.
That's what it looks like to me.
Fine. If it was a jet, why didn't they send it twice?
I was thinking
That's all I said.
They should have sent 2 jets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are extenuating circumstances. These are what you would call irregular happenings. The unusual. This is I can't even say that on TV. You know the thing that we've all been waiting for? This it. You know the sign would say break in case of emergency? Break the glass and let's get to the emergency. Don't move. We'll be back after this.
This is Freedom March.
Welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us through the break. I'm Levan Miller. I think we're going to get the Minister of National Security on the phone. Do we have him? Because I want to find out exactly what is the situation down there. And then if our news teams are evacuating because they don't think that's going to be safe, I understand it. You can't just hand over the keys to the city. But what exactly should we expect for the men and women in uniform? If he's on the line, good afternoon, Minister of National Security, Wayne Munro.
Good afternoon, Levan.
How's everything, sir?
Not bad.
Thank you very much for taking our call.
My pleasure. I was kind of concerned that there was some indication of the evacuation plan, and my information is that planes are back and forward moving people.
Okay, but I see that there's a bit of distress coming out of Mayaguana with the people saying that, you know, they was told to come out at 7, the planes didn't get there anytime 4 hours later. I think the first plane landed at about 4, and, you know, that basically they were saying that they needed the government to send an additional plane. Now, I see that this is a jet that I'm looking at, but like I told the spiritual advisor, I don't know the status of all the runways in the south. I think some of them are without light. My concern, Minister, is I don't want us to create a situation trying to prevent a situation.
Yeah, Levan, let's look at it like this. This is something that's planned. On several flights, you have delays, even of American Airlines. I was delayed once for 3 or 4 hours on American Airlines coming back to the Bahamas. This isn't a scheduled flight. My information is that the flights are going. Persons who want to leave will be given an opportunity to leave, and there's traffic going back the other way, as you would have mentioned.
Okay. Now, I also understand that there were flights that began the evacuations from yesterday, and I also told the spiritual advisor a few minutes ago that, you know, we've been tracking the storm since last week, Thursday. I do think that while evacuations are a thing that the government should consider, that the responsibility is on right-thinking Bahamians who either believe that they won't be able to withstand the storm to get out of there. But it appears from the stories coming out of the southeast that, you know, many people are saying that the government isn't responding. And I'm arguing that the fact that there's a jet sitting on the ground is an indication that the government is responding.
The government has responded. The government continues to respond. The shelters are opening up in New Providence for people who can't stay with their family. There's participation of the trained National Youth Guard operating in some of these shelters. So the government is acting.
Okay. Now, I at the start of the show, we got reports from our people down in the newsroom that the determination was being made to have reporters return to New Providence. You know, as I don't think the situation on the ground would be conducive for them after or during the passing of the storm. You know my history is I used to be a pair of boots at one point in my life, and I'm concerned about what's happening with the men and women that are going to be down there wearing the uniform. What exactly is the strategy? How exactly are we addressing that? Does the government have a direct plan, or is there some sort of alternative plan? Are we going to rotate the troops? What exactly are we doing?
Well, firstly, Levan, let me say this: my son's first deployment after he passed out in 2019 was to Abaco ahead of Dorian. So personally, as a parent, I know what the concerns are. The Marines and officers of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, though, they know their duty. The Commodore Defense Force, the Commander Defense Force, advises me that they're deploying advanced teams to every island in the southeast except Long Key, because there's a determination that there may not be a structure that is sound enough on Long Key. Okay.
And have we evacuated everyone out of Long Key? My memory is calling on, was it Mr. Cartwright that survived Hurricane Irma on Buena Vista Key, was it?
No, that's Mr. Lockhart.
Mr. Lockhart.
Edward Lockhart.
Mr. Lockhart. But are we still experiencing those kind of challenges?
Well, it's being marshaled by the DRM. Minister Lundy and his team is in charge of that. I have no information that it's a challenge other than it is being suggested and advised that persons should coordinate with the local island administrators so that we can keep a record.
And I pitched the idea, Minister, that for the people that says that, you know, these airplane evacuations are just, I guess, not as responsive or as quick as they thought they would be. We live in an archipelago, which makes us entirely different from many of our regional neighbors and counterparts. How does our topography lend to our strategy for evacuation? And then here's what I've argued, right? That in places like Abaco, when you see the massive damage caused by a Hurricane Dorian, what you will note that if you go into Cooperstown, you can't tell that Dorian ever came. If you go into Sandy Point, you know, there's no sign that there was ever a hurricane. Because of the way hurricanes are designed, but also because of the way our islands are designed, sometimes being 20 or 30 miles away from the storm is sufficient to be out of harm's way. And so this idea that we need to evacuate people 140 miles or 386 miles may be something that requires some looking at. Is that just from what you know? Do you or the Prime Minister or has any member of the cabinet began to look at the evacuation strategy? Because this is new to Bahamian culture.
A strategy is set before you make the order. I'll use your example. You didn't know which part of Abaco would be hit and what part would not be hit, eh?
Sure.
So until you know, you may make an order that covers the entire island, the entire area. And quite often what you're doing is you're acting out of an abundance of caution because you can replace jet fuel. You can't replace lives.
Sure. But I'm saying, Minister, do you think at some point it might become more feasible or more pragmatic to have things or assets like the Lawrence Major, not necessarily the Lawrence Major itself, but assets like that can mass evacuate, that can get people on short range trips to islands, either 2 islands north or 3 islands north, that takes it out of the barn of the hurricane, but that can move a whole lot more people in one instance and isn't constrained to the things that air traffic is constrained to?
What you would have is, for instance, I'll use the example of Lawrence Major.
Mm-hmm.
We are looking at acquiring another auxiliary vessel that can go into all the islands because the draft of the Lawrence Major means it can't go into all islands.
Right.
But that's the slowest vessel in the fleet.
It is. But it's because it's a mule. It's not supposed to be fast.
Yeah. So now, looking at what could happen, the DRM and the other agencies use that to, for instance, carry the kitchens, the bathrooms, all of the relief aid down to the area.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have it staged to do that.
Right.
If, for instance, it happened to be in Inagua at the time that this was coming through, it might have had to come back up to New Providence to embark this material on it. And, of course, if it's coming up, you may be able to put some people on board.
Mm-hmm.
But when we used it for deportations to Haiti, you had to embark portaloos on the deck. You had to embark a tent situation so people wouldn't be out in the sun.
Right.
So that takes some advanced planning when that is used to move people, as was necessary when we were carrying out deportations to Haiti using it.
Hmm. So just to let you go, Minister, because I know you probably have a busy schedule, and again, thank you for taking the call. Boots are going to be on the ground in Inagua, Crooked Island, Maiguana, and where else is there? Maiguana, Inagua, Crooked Island, Auckland, but not Long Key.
Not Long Key. I think also San Salvador. You don't know exactly that the storm is going to travel in a straight line.
Okay.
So all of the islands that may come under threat, the Defense Force is deploying an advanced team of Marines there.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Well, that was just the Minister of National Security, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, who has said, no, DDF Marines are going to stand fast, Bradley.
Yeah, that's what I told you. That's what they're being paid for. They're being trained for that. But listen, we have some very interesting information coming out of evacuations in Inagua. And we understand. Producer, I sent you a photo of the American airlift that's been assisting with evacuations. I understand there's no issue with getting people out of Inagua. I understand that they're also moving people from nearby islands like Auckland and Crooked Island, them, bringing them into Inagua because they have ample flights flying in and flying out. As a matter of fact, we're tracking a flight right now that's headed to Inagua that's about to airlift some people. And so far, they have evacuated 680 people out of Inagua to New Providence. I understand that they do have sufficient runway. Some 7,000 feet of runway.
Sure.
And the American...
Is that in Inagua or in Maguana? That sounds like Maguana to me.
Yeah, it sounds, yeah, okay. Maguana, 7,000.
Yeah, that sounds like Maguana to me.
So here it is. I understand that this is the airline that's assisting with the evacuation of those people down south. They've made 2 trips already for the day.
Okay.
And there's another flight going down there now, along with the Bahamas Air flights and some a Dash 8. So I understand, which is good news, that there's no issue with getting people out of these islands to New Providence.
So basically the Bahamians down there just need to tarry a little while longer.
Yeah, the flight is on the way. The folks who now complain about not being able to get out, the flight is on the way as we speak.
Okay.
And it should be there.
Well, then that is exactly what I was saying, Bradley, that the government is responding. That the government is responding.
Yeah.
And you know, I say to my friends all the time, or people that enjoy the luxury of having access to a social nexus with Levan Miller, that always remember, right, that the guy in the ambulance, in the accident with the broken leg, is wondering what is taking the ambulance so long.
Just hanging there, people helping
the
up on the way.
guy who is driving the ambulance, Bradley, he running the red light trying to get to you. You follow what I'm saying? So time of response is largely judged by which side of the pendulum you're on.
Okay.
Because I can tell you, as somebody that has spent a bit of my life in search and rescue, that people wonder, where you all been? I've been coming the whole time. From I get the call, first of all, your daddy didn't tell me he was going out to sea today if he about to sink. So I didn't know that. Other than that, I would have just been waiting right where he sink. But the minute I get the call, Bradley, all I do is put on this life jacket, grab the government weapon, grab the government toolkit in case we break down out to sea, crank this engine, and the minute, I even didn't give a chance to warm up, the minute this engine crank, I come full speed with sirens on, gang, go look for your daddy. But you know how you feel when I come back and tell you, boy, we meet your daddy floating. You want to know, well, what you all was doing? I was coming for your daddy. That's what I spend the whole time doing. And so I want the people that are down there to understand that the government is responding. I heard the minister. I heard that he said that DRM is considering some vessels like the Lawrence Major. Do you know the Lawrence Major?
Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah, I heard about it.
But that they want some with a more shallow draft so that they could get into these islands, right? And all I'm saying is, I still think, because this whole evacuation thing is a new concept, I still think we ought to look at that module as we build out our evacuation strategies going forward. Because I think you should always have more than one way to get out of there. I also think that, again, I maintain air traffic has a bit more encumbrances than waterside traffic. And in the makeup of the country that is an archipelago, sometimes your best go-to might actually just be waterside traffic. All right?
But there's no issue. They're getting very, very good.
What are they doing with the runway lights?
Assistant. They say there's lights all around, they say. And
really?
Yeah. They say lighting is not a problem.
Okay. All right.
So,
well, let's open up the phone line, Bradley, and see if some of these people, cousins, could call us.
Yeah.
And let us know what's happening. 323-777-5698-0775. Give us a call here on Freedom March.
But let me just do this quickly. Producer, do we have any birthdays for the day? Do we? No, right? We do? All right, so let's do this quickly. Is this Jaden Smith? Happy birthday today, Jaden Smith. Good afternoon. How you doing? I will send a birthday request to my handsome and amazing grandson, Jaden Smith, coming from his mom, Ashley Smith, grandmother, Deborah Smith, aunts, Nikita, Kim, Chantel, Keisha, Uncle Tavares, Jamaico, Justin, Travis, Marvin, godmothers, family, and friends. They love you. Enjoy your day. Thank you. God bless. Mitchell Gator. Is it Mitchell? Michelle Gator. Happy birthday to Michelle Gator. Greetings coming from her children, her grandkids, family, and friends. And then Jaleel Bastian. Happy 30th birthday to Jaleel Victor Dominic Bastian, who is celebrating a special day. Greetings and love from his parents, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, especially his favorite uncle, Dawn and Daddy McKenzie. They love you. Enjoy your day. Wilfred Sargent. Happy birthday to father-in-law, coming from his son-in-law and his daughter-in-law and his grandchildren. Wilfred Sargent, happy birthday. And then, of course, Roland Wright. Happy birthday to Mr. Roland Wright. In Freeport, Grandmama, coming from the Wright family. Thank you so much. So that flight is on its way to Maguana.
Right.
And so they do have lights on the runway. And Maguana is the island that has more than 7,000 feet of runway.
Yeah,
And
somebody's actually also telling me now that Inagua might also have about 7,000 feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
So those islands are kind of equipped for landing.
Yeah.
And they do have lights.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So Hype and Hope is on the way.
where
The name of that U.S. airline, I think, is Worldwide something. Worldwide Airline is the airline that's assisting the government with evacuations. Does it say, hold it there for a second for me, please, producer. I believe this is saying...
World Atlantic is what I see.
This is saying World Atlantic, yeah. World Atlantic is assisting with the evacuations. And what is so interesting, they're saying that they're flying people from nearby islands to this point to be airlifted back to the Providence.
Flying people from which nearby islands?
Whatever, in Auckland's.
So they're flying people from like Auckland's and Crooked Island to Inagua.
This is what this is the information coming to me. I spoke with a guy. He called me. He said, "Listen, here's what we're doing." And mind you, he's right because he sent those photos about this same airline and somebody else confirmed. I don't know why they're doing that, but I guess because those planes are huge, they fly them to one point and then take it.
I guess one plane could go 1, 2, 3, boom, and drop everybody off, and then the one plane that making the leg
come straight into Providence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got a phone call.
So they got it organized.
Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hey, a pleasant good afternoon, Mr. Miller. How you doing?
Hey, Antoine.
Spiritual, what's happening?
Everything okay. Now, you're a storm expert now, Antoine? Because we're talking about the storm.
He's a PLB.
We're talking about storm now, Antoine. We ain't putting no politics in this.
What you talking about, Spiritual? You little mix up today?
Go ahead, Antoine.
All right, then, because I ain't mix up at all.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, 17 minutes ago, when I tuned in, and I heard that whoever was making complaints that they are stuck on the island, I made a call right away myself. As a matter of fact, I spoke with the executive chairman for the DRM authority, Mr. Alex Storr. And he informed me that flights have been going in and out the entire day long. And they will, and all of the islands that will be impacted. And they will be continuing flights until this evening. Until this evening. No one has been left behind. No one will be left behind. As a matter of fact, when I spoke with Mr. Stoll 17 minutes ago, they had two D-83s, I think is what he called it, which each one of those planes, those jets, they carry over 100 persons each flight. And so there isn't a challenge of getting persons out of the zones that are in question that can be impacted.
We recognize that.
The Minister of National Security would have expressed.
We recognize it. We recognize that, Antoine.
And so persons need to stop, as a matter of fact, persons need to stop playing politics.
Well, I don't know.
No, Antoine, no.
I'm not sure if we could accuse him of playing politics.
No.
Hold on. I'm not sure if we could accuse him of playing politics. It was people. I'll play the clip again. It was people on the ground in Maguana that actually had this concern, and they saw the news, and they said what they said to the news.
Mr. Miller, here's the reason why I say that. Here's the reason why I say that.
I told you not to do no politics today, Anton.
Mr. Storr, they had flights going in from morning until up to now, non-stop. And so that is misinformation.
But were those flights going into Maguana? Because what the woman said was, they told us to come out here at 7. We came at 7. There was no flight. They said that the flight was delayed. We waited and waited and waited, and now they tell us that the flight is going to land at 4. The flight is the flight going to be able to take every? I think these were reasonable. These were reasonable concerns, Anton.
Mr. Miller, listen, man. I just spoke with the executive chairman, Alex Storr.
Anton,
right? He's the person in charge of the DRM authority. Right? There has been absolutely no issues at all.
Yes, we recognize that.
Out from any point that is going to be impacted. The Prime Minister made the announcement, and they got busy with their private partners throughout the region and in the United States who are assisting with the evacuation process. There's no issue at all.
Yes, we see that, Anton. We see it. All right, you're right.
And I'll end with this, if I could. I would advise you, Mr. Miller, you wait with Han and Kimber, right? You wait with the Han and Kimber Brigade, right? So make contact with the Han and Kimber Brigade so that you can, as you always do, so that you can proficiently and efficiently update the Bahamian people on the efforts, because those Bahamians and those persons living in that part of the country, they are safe with Brave. Thank you for the opportunity.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I can. Can we get the leader of the Han and Kimber Brigade on the phone?
The worst thing you could ever do is criticize Anton PLP government, because he coming at you. Anton, nobody's criticizing, okay? We got all the information now, and we understand nobody has an issue with being evacuated.
Play the clip back from the news with the people in Maguana say, because I don't want you all to say I lying on the PLB, my brother. I tell you what the woman on the news say.
Yeah,
okay.
Fine.
Let's go back to the clip from the woman on the news who says she will know where are the efforts in Maguana.
At 8:30 this morning, we're here. More than 100 persons are on the airport. We're on the airport, and then we got word after 1 o'clock that only a 50-seater was coming to Maguana, and that so that means the other persons would be stranded on the island. Even if we can't get it today, first thing in the morning.
We got flights. Auckland's already got flights. Why is Maguana just getting a flight for 4 o'clock? 4:30. They told us to be up from 7 o'clock. All people was outside at the airport. No seats to sit down. No bathroom to use. No bathroom to use. And it's just so unfair.
No food.
No food. No nothing. Current off, water off.
We're going to houses to come. The police must leave and everybody must leave. So we're here from 7 o'clock. And why there's now no flight, no communication, no word, no nothing?
No one is saying anything. Everybody is asking among themselves what's going on. Nobody knows nothing.
You see how it doesn't sound like political mischief at all?
Yeah, no.
It sounds like concerned residents who said, we've been waiting from 7 o'clock this morning. And we now also hear that only a 55-seater coming. Well, that ain't gonna be enough because there's more than 55 of us here. I need y'all to send more flights to Maguana because we've been waiting from 7 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock. And if the only thing y'all can do is get here 4 o'clock, Maguana take 2 hours to get back from. When y'all gonna come back for me? I need y'all to send more seats. That sounded like a legitimate concern. Yeah, and so I don't want people to say that we're making this up. This is what was reported. Concerned residents of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas call the newsroom and gave their concern to the newsroom.
Indeed.
Yeah, and it is our job here to report on what exactly is the goings on, particularly in times like these. But y'all don't worry, I'm gonna see if I can get me the leader of the Han and Kimber Brigade. Bradley, you know how I feel about the leader of the Han and Kimber Brigade, my brother.
Yeah, but he's with water and sewage, man.
He in charge of the DRM.
As well? Okay.
Don't move. We're going to look for the leader of the Han and Kimber Brigade, and we coming right back. This is Freedom March.
This is Freedom March.
Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us through the break. I'm Leland Miller. You're listening to us on 103.5 The Beat FM, Channel 224, Channel 112, that's on Flow, and of course on ILTV Studios on Facebook, where by now you should be watching us, following us rather. Bradley Rowe, the spiritual advisor extraordinary and plenipotentiary, is still with me. Bradley, I've spoken to the leader of the Hanagimba Brigade. And he says that
they're running flights, man.
He says that they're going to have flights going as long as they need them to. That they have already cleared out several of the islands. I'm trying to see if I can confirm exactly which islands he has suggested. So they're going to make contact with us in a short bit. But until then, let's take. They said Ragged Island, Meguana. They're still running flights into Meguana, so there's still flights going to Meguana. So the Meguanians may have had some concern, Bradley, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But there's no need to be concerned because the cavalry is coming.
But, I guess for them, they say, man, listen, this time is ticking.
You know what other Church of God song popped in my head just now, Bradley?
Time is ticking.
Everything is going to be all right.
Yeah, I've got a feeling.
If you hold out a little while longer.
I'm not a PLP, right? But, I mean, so far, the information I'm getting, the government seemed to get this one right, okay? So let's put all this politics aside. Producer, you have some images coming out of Jamaica, right? We could probably show every now and again. Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
You know that after the storm cloud passes over.
Caller, are you there?
Stay there. Ever-reaching Bradley.
Well, welcome to Freedom March, caller. You live?
I have a situation,
live,
Mr.
caller.
Vaughn and Mr. Bradley Rowe.
Hey.
Yes, ma'am.
People are burning fire in this neighborhood the weekend. I cannot sleep or stay in my
Where's this?
East End District.
Sorry?
East Elizabeth to be exact. I cannot sleep in the night. Call the police. When they come, they stop so far, but they turn them around. They never came back.
So
I cannot sleep in my house at night.
Wow, it's unfortunate.
You assume that this fire is in a yard, or you assume that this is in the bush?
In the yard. In the yard.
Okay, well, let me tell you.
Next to you?
Yes.
Oh. You need to call somebody from Environmental Health.
I was hoping it was in the bush, because then she could go call the new forest people.
Mm-hmm.
You have a number for Environmental Health?
No, I
don't. You can get it. It's right inside of the phone book.
Hold the line.
You need an inspector.
Hold the line. Hold the line, Bradley. The reason they call us is because they want us to work the magic.
Okay.
Hold the line. Mm-hmm. Listen, I want to say something to you before you go. Hold the line. Give the producer my number. Give the producer your number.
Okay.
Let me see if we could get some assistance to you.
Okay.
Right? But I want to say this to you as you live.
Uh-huh.
Let not your heart be troubled.
Mm-hmm.
If you believe, my friend, then you believe also in us, all right?
Better than that, here's what I'll do for you.
Mm-hmm.
I know somebody personally who can solve your problem.
So why are you telling the woman go look in the phone book?
My number.
You see Negroes?
Listen, I'm correcting that.
Take my number.
You take my number. My number is 814-6096.
Hold on.
Yeah.
814-6096.
814-6096. Add me to your WhatsApp. I will send you an inspector today.
Okay.
All right. 814-6096.
I'll tell you.
6096.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you one other thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get this from them other bunch of talk show they got all over the place. You tell them I say it.
Mr. LeVon, the road traffic man, way back in the day, Miss Polly.
Oh, hey.
Hey, yes.
Don't worry, Bradley can get you sorted today.
I'll sort you out. I'll sort you out.
Okay.
All right.
You're welcome. Take care. Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Let's get the Hanagimba Brigade on the phone.
You hear me?
Hey.
Yeah, you're live.
Okay, thank you. Just a brief observation. Spiritual, I think you got it right. The government made a great call on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my observation is that it appears as if Crooked Island Acklands, etc., are more in the bullseye of this hurricane, right? Inagua and Mayaguana, they are, you know, a little south of the path.
Yeah, they're on the weak side.
Right, they're on the weak side, right? So, I mean, the top priority would be to evacuate, like, Crooked Island, Acklands, Long Key, etc., which is what they did.
Okay.
And they're still going to go ahead and evacuate fully Inagua and Mayaguana.
Mayaguana, yeah.
So the right thing is being done.
Okay.
Caller, don't go.
Okay.
What I'm saying, the point, because I feel like you were addressing the point I made about the calls that they've made. I'm saying
with Abaco.
Evacuations are a new thing in Bahamian culture.
Right.
It didn't always exist.
Right.
The last administration that kind of started was the Minnis administration.
Right.
Well, we escaped them out of office, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time that this administration has had to really give some thought to evacuation and its strategies. Or out in the public anyway, right?
Right.
They look like they're getting at least a B- on this, right? What I'm saying is, because of how the country is designed, there are some challenges with getting airlift in and out of some of these islands, runway, light, etc., weather conditions. And I'm saying that we have things like the Lawrence Major that if you look at it, it could move the same amount of people as 4 of these jets or 5 of these jets. We might have to consider how do we build that into the plan. That's what I'm saying to you. We need to give more thought to the policy making behind the evacuation order. Does that sound fair?
Yes, I agree with you. We only could get better.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying that the government isn't doing great. I think they're doing fantastic, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I started off by saying the government is responding. Citizens also have an obligation. You have an obligation to get your backside out of the way of the storm if you hear it coming. But in the instances where you cannot do that, it is wonderful to see that the government is getting it right. Fair?
Yeah, fair enough.
Good stuff.
All right, man.
We got the Han and Kimber Brigade on the phone yet?
Take it easy.
All right. I got to tell the leader of the Han and Kimber Brigade that he need to let the members of the Han and Kimber Brigade go to whatever school he been to would teach him how to answer his phone so good. Because the leader of the Han and Kimber Brigade is answer his phone on the second ring every time. But it looked like the members of the Han and Kimber Brigade, they missed that class. Let's see if we can get them on the phone again. 323-777-775, 698-0775. Hello, caller.
Yes, good afternoon. How you all doing?
Doing well.
Levon and spiritual advisor.
Yes, sir.
Listen, the government is doing a tremendous job in these evacuations, from bringing them people from Jamaica and starting off with our family islands. But some people, let me say, 2 callers ago, prior, sometimes the government do wrong and sometimes the government do good. But sometimes some people just eat up themselves and say, hey, the government ain't doing wrong, and they always come to the defense, right? But the people on those islands today, they feeling it. They was given a certain time to be to the airport.
Yeah.
They waited. Nothing happened, right? But like I say, I will always applaud the government for doing right because they helping out.
Yeah, okay.
Private citizens could have just put their hands in their pocket to do things, but they didn't.
Right.
But the government doing it.
Right.
Now, like I say again, there's a lot of people want to call the show and say some things, but they're afraid to be victimized. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
If you're wrong, you're wrong. Sometimes the government ain't gonna do everything right. And you just gotta admit and say, hey, my government doing wrong or whatever. But a lot of people ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, we understand.
But right now, government is doing a tremendously good job with all this evacuation.
It seems so.
Anyway, you all have a good day.
Yeah, man, you too.
I got to tell you one
Take
thing,
care.
my brother. I largely believe it's because the Han and Kimber Brigade is on. Listen to me, Bradley. Bradley, you never see the Han and Kimber Brigade movement.
There has to be a concerted effort.
This is the Han and Kimber Brigade. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I am good, thanks. Working hard, but good.
Fantastic. So, firstly, give us your name and your title for the record. This is the DRM.
Hi, yes, this is Shantez Dillett Wilson. I am the Assistant Director of Communications for the Disaster Risk Management Authority.
All right. Shawnette Dillett Wilson, Assistant Director of Communications for the Disaster Recovery.
Disaster Risk Management.
Disaster Risk Management
This
Authority.
from the DRM.
But you can call us DRM.
DRM.
For sure.
Well, collectively, we just call you all the Han and Kimber Brigade over here by Freedom March. But we like the Han and Kimber Brigade because they seem to be high speed. Give us an update on exactly what is the status, island by island, if you can, so that the people that are listening knows exactly what is happening island by island, please.
I'm glad you said island by island because the evacuations have been systematic island by island. We focused on Inagua and moved our way north and out. So Inagua, Acklands, and Ragged Islands are complete. I'm glad to say.
Right.
We are currently focused on Mayaguana and Crooked Island.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had 3 planes on the ground, Mayaguana, and 3 planes either already complete or on the ground now in Mayaguana.
Mm-hmm.
And with Crooked Island, we've had 2 flights already. We anticipate Bahamas Air doing one more flight, en route, one more flight. And then both of those islands will have smaller charters doing cleanup sweeps just to make sure that we catch the
Now, will
stragglers.
those cleanup sweeps be this evening?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you've been following us. If you have been, you would have known, or you would know rather, because you can't would have, you would know that there's been complaints coming, particularly out of Mayaguana, that they received instructions to be out at 7 a.m., up to 1 p.m. they had gotten no word. At 4 p.m. they said that the plane was on the way. It was only a 55-seater. What exactly caused the miscommunication, the misunderstanding, the misstep in Mayaguana?
The fact of the matter is this is one of the largest pre-event evacuations in Bahamian history. The last time we had an evacuation this big was Joaquin, which is a post-event. The fact we're coordinating a lot of airlift right now. With post-event, you can use boats. We're dealing with deteriorating conditions.
Mm-hmm.
The fact of the matter is the situation is very fluid, but we have always been moving systematically, and we've been working very diligently to make sure we've hit every island, and we are getting to everybody who has given their name to their family island administrators, because they're keeping a list so that we can keep them registered. I think that Minister Monroe spoke to this earlier in the show.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, so I do want to commend the family island administrators on the ground. They've been coordinating a lot over the last few days, and they've been ensuring that this process is going forward, that we're touching everybody. They've been going door to door to ensure that everyone is accounted for and that we're starting with the most vulnerable.
Sure. Now you said something that has raised some concern in my mind, and that is that you said that you have 3 jets on the ground, and that they're going to be smaller air assets that are going to go back to do sweeps. Does smaller mean slower? Because you are also saying that the situation on the ground is deteriorating. And just from general knowledge, we know that under normal circumstances, you're talking about an hour, hour and a half minimum of flight time. How are we, with the deteriorating circumstances, how are we ensuring that everything will go smoothly with slower, possibly smaller, possibly slower assets?
Smaller does allow us a little bit more agility, but there are trade-offs. Yes, we are watching the deteriorating situation, and we will continue to evacuate as many people as we can until it becomes no longer possible.
Yeah.
Here's the question. I like that wide answer, but I want to see if we can get something a bit more specific. I'm sure that by now, if you've drawn up your modules, at some point you have a seal the hatch point in the operation. Can you give us when that most likely is anticipated to be?
As in our cutoff point?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't have that information. Like I said, we will continue to do what we can to save every life, get everyone evacuated as long as we deem that it's possible. And a part of that, it will be decided in concert with our partners, because a lot of these people are giving us these assets pro bono, and we do want to give a big thank you out to them. Bahamas Air, this is a concerted effort. DRM, here, of course, but we're working with social services, we're working with Department of Aviation, we're working with Defense Force. We have the Coast Guard represented here in our EOC today. We've been working closely with Ministry of Foreign Affairs to assist us in ensuring that we're working with international partners to get as much lift as we possibly can.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
Well, that sounds pretty good. We appreciate that update. And so just one more time for the record, give us the islands that have been completed with evacuation and the islands that still have just a tad bit more evacuation left to go, just for the record again and to be completely clear.
Absolutely. So Inagua, Acklands, Ragged Island are complete. Mayaguana and Crooked Island, we're still ongoing and hope to be wrapping up soon.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And so
All right,
if
thank
you're
you
just
for having
tuning
me.
into
You're
us,
welcome.
we've been on the phone with Shantez Dillette Wilson, who is the Assistant Director of Communications over at the Disaster Risk Management Authority.
Producer.
That name always ties my
DRM. Before we take any more calls, you have any images that we could look at? Come on to Jamaica so folks can get an idea of exactly what is happening at this hour as we speak and the need to continue to pray for.
Is this at this hour?
Well, this happened a couple hours ago, I understand.
Okay.
So, our thoughts and our prayers. I understand this is a hospital, and is this an aunt? In Jamaica, that suffers, suffered devastating damages to the roof. We got a couple images that are ongoing and that's coming into us here at Freedom March, and I can tell you, it is not a pretty sight in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Our thoughts and our prayers go with them at this time as they face this devastating Category 5 Hurricane Melissa. All right, thanks.
Well,
so much,
another breaking
Melissa.
news, Senator Darren Pickstock has tendered a resignation, Bradley.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Well, but we don't know.
We don't know what?
We don't think the FNM is going to contest Golden Hour, so I don't know.
What does that have to do with Darren Pickstock's resignation?
Who's Darren Pickstock?
The PLP's candidate.
For
the candidate for the PLP.
For
Golden Ads.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, see, Tanner's resignation from where?
From the Senate. I said Senator Darren Pickstock.
Oh. Well, he has to do that, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
But it's
okay,
breaking news. It just happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
You had me lost. I was thinking about this. Something else is going through my mind.
What was going
I
through
hope
your
I didn't
mind?
let the cat out the bag. Any other producer? Let's take this call. But he has to do that. I mean, I thought...
You got to take a little better care. You can't do that, Brad.
Yeah. Wow, look at this. Wow.
Oh, boy.
Oh, wow. Wow, this is interesting. I think they're experiencing up to 155, 160 mile an hour winds at this point.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hey, Miller.
Hey, Anton.
Just want to make one comment, please, for the lady caller from the Elizabeth constituency who was experiencing concerns and challenges with the indiscriminate and illegal fires that are taking place.
I've already dispatched the unit in her direction, Anton.
Okay, well, I just wanted to make a correction to something Spiritual said. You can make a call to the Elizabeth Estates Police Station.
Yeah.
You don't need an inspector, nor do you need the environmental
But she said the police
agency.
came. She said the police came, and they always come certain up to a certain point, and they would go back.
And that's why I
So
suggested that,
we
Anton.
upping the ante on her, Anton.
Yeah, that's all.
Anyway, if I can end by saying they are very responsive at the Elizabeth Police Station. They get the job done, and they don't just work on hearsay. They work on evidence. And so if someone is burning, there will be evidence of that burning. Whether they put that fire out or not, before the police come, it will still emanate smoke, and the police will be able to address it.
I'm
So
going to
some don't
write His
seem
Majesty's Commissioner of Police, Anton, and tell her to please induct you as a reserve officer so that you could work along with Sharia King in the communications department,
Anton,
all right?
Anton, I have a question I need to ask you. Don't get mad now, okay? Don't get mad. We'll still be friends after this question, I hope. Let me ask a question, Anton. Are you an official spokesman for the PLP?
I am a PLP believer. I believe in the progressive cause. I believe in the spirit of the PLP. I believe in what Salinan and those men, Cyril Stevenson, Bill Cartwright, and the rest of those gentlemen believed in, right down to this generation. I come from a father who helped to finance the majority rule
so that
movement.
means yes.
Hold on a second. You asked me a question. I come from a father who helped to finance the majority rule movement in this country. He was a Salinan Finland era PLP. He was a Perry Christie era PLP. And before he went to his grave, he was a Philip Brave Davis PLP. And I am all of those PLPs intertwined into one.
There you have it.
As a young man.
There you
and
have it.
Carry
Praise the
within
Lord.
me, I carry within me the warrior spirit to fight for and to protect the PLP and the people of this country. Does that answer your question?
That means
I don't need no money to do it.
That means
I
yes.
don't need to be on no payroll to do it.
I know one thing.
I do it from the love in my heart for this country,
okay, Anton.
for our people, and for my leaders in the
All
PLP.
right.
I know one thing.
Thank you so much, Anton.
When we head on for the FNA, my brother, you in charge of the social media and public relations.
I hope we're still friends after that question,
Let's take
Anton.
another
Anyway.
call. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Yes, good afternoon. I want you to let y'all know that y'all can let the owners at IMAX know that the service is very poor. You pay for VIP, and when you get there, you upstairs, you have to still come downstairs and buy things and go back upstairs. So I don't think it's fair that I don't think the owner know that what's going on. So please tell the owners they need to fix that, please.
Okay. Well, there you have it. The owners of IMAX, your service is very poor. When you go upstairs in VIP, you still have to come downstairs and buy your own things. And we don't think you all know that, so we want you all to fix that.
Thank you, my brother.
When you talked about
But
that.
worst case scenario, you could always sell the building for a hurricane shelter because we can need one of them.
Yeah, my mind was going at 1,000 miles a second when you talked about that resignation. I was just thinking of something else.
Oh boy.
But anyhow, it is what it is.
Oh boy. These
but we haven't made official if we're going to be contesting going now, and I don't think we are, from what I've been gathering.
And I can
anyhow,
tell you that if Michael Pinter had fooled with that, my brother.
Yeah, I think he's going to set it out.
My brother, listen to me. They can cut him short as twice one is two. You hear me?
Yeah.
Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March. He'll no longer be leader of the opposition faster than you could say Jack Robinson.
We got you. We got you.
Hello, caller.
Hey.
Hey.
It's Berenice Johnson, the original. Listen here. This is not political, Mr. Spiritual Advisor. Good afternoon and God's prayers and blessings to one and all under the sound of my voice, especially experiencing this hurricane.
In Jamaica.
The Progressive Liberal Party and my mortal boss, all prime ministers must come together. And this is not political, Mr. Spiritual Advisor, because they failed to call a meeting with former Prime Minister Hubert Alexander Ingram, and we will cause the biblical discipline resolve, the best law enforcement agency on planet Earth. Yeah. Good night to one and all. Bye.
Thank you, Bernie. You know, at some point, ILTV Studios, I can need y'all to do a little something in mental. I can need to go to one or two little mental looking at sessions, because
we got 60 seconds, man. Let's take a last call. Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live.
But I really need to go see someone after I finish
folks,
this.
how are y'all?
We're doing well, thank you.
Okay. Listen, I'm the one who was calling about the spring in South Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's no Wi-Fi on the park yet. Now, Anton did say somebody's going to come within 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't happened yet.
Wow.
Midterm break just over. The kids had all type of stuff. Because I normally help them with their stuff too. All right? Okay. And another thing, because I know Mr. Levin Miller, you live in South Beach.
Yes.
I'm your neighbor. You don't need to know why.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but the first light, okay, if you come through Oxford Drive, you know where Oxford Drive is, right?
I'm the mayor of South Beach. Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, I'm the mayor of South Beach. Of course I know Oxford Drive.
Okay. When you come, Oxford Drive is left. The first corner left off of South Beach Drive. That first light, that's been out of commission for quite some time. And we need it.
Oh, wow.
And in the background, you can hear all these motorbike and things. Well, you can't do nothing but that. For God's sake, man, in the nighttime, I tell you, you can't even sleep in South Beach.
Wow.
Anyway, between that,
do you live
do nothing but that.
Do you live in
But the
quiet
motorbike
South
and the
Beach, or do
mosquitoes?
you live in South Beach constituency? Because in quiet South Beach, it is be quiet.
Man, and you sleep home last night?
I feel like I sleep home. I mustn't sleep by you. I feel like I was home.
Well, I sure you hearing all this noise. In fact, if I go outside right now, you could hear the motorbike man. Stop me anyway. Y'all can't do nothing but that.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. But listen, the light and the Wi-Fi on the park, please.
Yeah.
It can make a difference.
That's very serious. Those are very serious matters, Bradley.
Indeed, yeah.
To the woman with the fire in Elizabeth,
help and hope is on the way.
let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. If you believe, my friend, then you believe also in us. Bradley, that's the time. You hear that jingle?
Yeah.
I mean, ain't no more time, even though we got more show.
Sure.
We'll see you again here tomorrow on Freedom March.
If it's the Lord's will, we'll be back.